Okay, so do you have the copies?
Yes.
Okay, great. I taught this long time ago in Vancouver. So I think at that time I made these small notes. So that's quite helpful to have that small notes. So there was said, "Sonam chungu chue de la tesum sawa yong minju tesum sewa samji sewa rivu chevar juros." So the meaning of that is that we, with the lesser fortunate people, it is very hard to actually even having a doubt about emptiness, not to mention studying and really meditating, but even having a doubt is very, very difficult. So even if you have a doubt about emptiness, mere doubt, it can be very, very effective, and it can kind of slowly lead to destroy the root of the samsara. So this is what we are trying to do. We study together and then contemplate, and then eventually, when we have good understanding of emptiness, then we can meditate and then accomplish something which Heart Sutra actually mentioned. So let's see. Although the topic is very challenging, even for me, I've studied like 40-something years and still studying, meditating rigorously. And I've also written several commentaries on Heart Sutra, but still it's challenging. So please don't discourage yourself if you find it difficult. And so it's good to sometimes, if you think you know it, then you are not learning anything. If you think it's challenging, so then you're starting to learn something. Which is quite encouraging. Oh, now I'm learning because I don't know. Now there is a chance to really learn something new. If you knew everything, then that means you're learning nothing. So this is quite challenging, but if we go slowly, definitely we will get somewhere. So last time I spoke about the title of the sutra, Heart Sutra, which is the full title is Bhagavati Prajna Paramita Hirdaya, the essence of the Bhagavati Prajna Paramita, meaning this short, very few pages text is the essence of those like 100,000 stanzas. So like that. So like 12 volumes, and another 3 volumes, and 1 volume altogether. So there are so many volumes. But if you boil those volumes into short version, then this will be the one, the Heart Sutra. So that's why it's called Heart Sutra. All the essence of those 12 plus 4, like 16 volumes, in a nutshell. So that's Heart Sutra. So that's the title of the sutra, and then there comes the translator's homage, because this is translated from Sanskrit into Tibetan. So the Tibetan translators, great translators, we call translators in Tibetan Jigden Mik Lochawa. Sanskrit Lochawa means Jigden Mik, meaning the eyes of the world. It's quite true, eyes of the world, because without translators, those great translators, selfless translators, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be translated into Tibetan. So I always feel so grateful and so appreciative of those translators. They have risked their lives to go to India, and those hot weathers, really steep mountains, days and days, and hungry. And when you get to India, it's like full of, not easy, like snakes and elephants and tigers. They have to go through those mountains and forests, and really they risk their life. And also the climate is very totally different. We came from very cold weather, and then you go to India, it's very hot. So many die. So we are very appreciative of the translators. They are exactly like the eyes of the world. Yeah, so we call Jigdemi, or the eyes of the world. So this is their kind of, when they translate, they pay homage to certain deity, so their translation would be very successful. So this is their homage, so translators' homage, in Tibetan called Kyucha. I pay homage to the Bhagavati Prajna Paramita. So the translator wants to actually pay homage to the Bhagavati Paramita, the Wisdom Sutra. So we pay homage to the Wisdom Sutra. And then we have a preface. Preface, actually, as I mentioned last time, it tells about the story of the sutra, the place of where he taught, and how many students were there, and so on. So you can actually, and time, also time. So here it says, thus have I heard, as I think time, or no, once that talks about the, timing, and Blessed One, which is the Bhagavan. So that talks about the teacher, Buddha, dwelling in Rajgir, is at the Vulture Peak mountain. That's the place. Rajgir is a big place, quite big, and then Vulture Peak mountain is a small hill in reality. So there, where Buddha taught this sutra. And then now comes the disciple. Who are the disciples? Together with a great gathering of the sanghas or the monks, and a great gathering of the sanghas of the bodhisattvas. So bodhisattvas are lay people, lay practitioners, highly realized lay practitioners, and monks and nuns. So there are two types of disciples, main disciples, monks and nuns, and also the sanghas. The lay sanghas. So that's a brief, because I went through quite detailed last time, so I won't go there now. So this is the preface. So now this is our new topic today, entering the wisdom. So before going into the actual the teachings, I will go back and kind of give you some more explanations. Last time I didn't give everything, because then you get a little overwhelmed. So now, as I said before, Bhagavan, which is translated here as a Blessed One. So this Bhagavan, actually the Sanskrit word Bhagavan, is borrowed from Hindu tradition. This is coming from Hindu tradition. This they have been using for probably before Buddha's time, probably 2,000 or 3,000 years before Buddha. So Bhagavan. So this Bhagavan in Tibetan we translate it as a Chumden De. I'll explain that later. So let me say, I went through quite detail about Bhagavan last time. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain from the point of view of a Hindu. Actually, I just read, I happened to I found old Bhagavad Gita, which is holy teaching of a Hindu. I saw that in thrift store because I was looking for books, and I saw that, and I paid really respect. I said, this book doesn't belong here in thrift store. We should respect that. So I bought that. So then I was reading a little bit, and this holy book, and then it has this what do you call explanation of Bhagavan in the commentary of Bhagavad Gita. So it says the Sanskrit word Bhagavan is very quite similar to as I just mentioned last time, the Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, entire strength, entire fame, entire beauty, entire knowledge, and entire renunciation is called Bhagavan. This is from the Hindu tradition. So it's quite similar, like fame and, as I mentioned before, maybe you should watch that when we upload this on YouTube. So there were 6, qualities, right? Yeah, qualities. So similar, very close. The Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, entire strength, entire fame, entire beauty, entire knowledge, and entire renunciation is called Bhagavan. So this is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. It's not in the Bhagavad Gita itself, but in the commentary, page 17. So that's very nice too. Quite similar. So that's quite similar. And then, how did noble? Aya is translated as a noble. Maybe I'll go like that. So leave it like that. So now Tibetan Bhagavan is translated as a Gomde Lharampa. When I think about that word, Gomde Lharampa, Gom means destroy. So Gomde Lharampa is like Buddha, refers to Buddha. Excuse me. So Gom means Buddha had this quality of destroying, meaning destroying 4 maras or the evils. The main mara, of course, is the afflicted emotion, right? So emotions. So 4 maras. Gom means destroy, meaning destroying the 4 maras or the 4 evils, and then is possess. So he possesses 6 qualities. Gomden. So that's Bhagavan. Now the Tibetan translators actually add 1 extra kind of syllable there. De means gone beyond. So that is, I think, wonderful thinking, because in Hindu, this Bhagavan is already used thousands of years before Buddha even come to the world. So by Hindu tradition. So Hindu gods like Krishna is called Bhagavan, and also Shiva and all those Hindu gods they call Bhagavan. So the Buddha. So now, according to Buddhism, we think those are not like an enlightened being, like not Buddha, but they are very highly realized, but they are very important. But we think, according to Buddhism, we think still they are mundane deities. So they are not enlightened. They have not abandoned the true obscurations. So that's why, in order to distinguish those 2 things, so since Bhagavan can be referred to mundane deities or the gods. So Buddha is not mundane deity. So then they add beyond, so gone beyond. So in reality, this Chomden there, the term which the Tibetan translator created, is actually better than the original term itself. Because original term, Bhagavan, can refer to mundane deities or the gods. But the Chomden there, the word Chomden there, the translation, that cannot be referred to a mundane deity, because they add this there, gone beyond, meaning gone beyond the mundane state. So when I think about it, this is very wonderful, even better than the original source of the word, Bhagavan. Bhagavan is awake, it can be referred to either way, but the Chomden there cannot. Because there, they add this there. Tibetan translated add there means gone beyond. So Chom there, then that's Bhagavan. Now they add there, gone beyond. Now it cannot, you can, that Chomden there is only Buddha. So all the gods cannot be called Chomden there, but they can call Bhagavan. So it's very there are some terms which are actually better than the original source, like Buddha in Tibetan. Sangye is also, I think, better than the Buddha, the word term Buddha. The translators, they did a great job. Sang means clear or cleanse or abandon. Sang. Ye means expand. So clear means clear or cleared or cleansed, meaning the Buddha has abandoned, cleared out all the obscurations, afflicted emotions and its seeds, everything. And then Ge means the wisdom. His wisdom is expanded to whole phenomena, the entire phenomena. So Ge is like opening the, expanding the lotus like that, blooming when the lotus blooms, right, like that. So it's called Ge. So similar, Sang Ge. So in what you call Buddha, it only kind of it can mean cleanse, or it can mean expand, or knowledge, referring to knowledge. But in the Sangye, the both are present. Both words are present. So it's actually better than the original text. The original text, Buddha only can mean what you call this cleansing or abandonment, or expanding the knowledge or the wisdom. So it's kind of it can mean, but in this Sangye is already there. The words are both there, present. So clearly present. So it's not. I thought the Sangye, the term Sangye, is actually better than the original source. So there are a few terms like that. It could be even in English like that too, right? So that's it. And then now Arya. So that's why I told you last time that in English you lose lots of meaning, lots and lots of meaning. So as I just mentioned, the Bhagavan, Chomden De in Tibetan, lots of meaning. So we lose because we say Blessed One. So then now you lost almost entire this explanation, right? And now Arya also similar like that. Arya, noble, very good, quite good translation. But still, Arya in Tibetan, Arya means Papa. Papa means like bounce. Literally means to bounce. When you throw a ball on the ground, it will bounce back, right? So bounce, yeah, bounce. So meaning those Arya beings, when Arya beings are born from the state of mundane, so they are no more mundane. The word itself clearly mentions bonds, right? So that's called Arya. Arya in Sanskrit, Arya. In Tibetan we call it Pakpa. Pakpa literally means two bonds. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Please.
So sorry.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. I understand that definitely. We just started, so don't worry. So the two words, right? Chomdende or the Bhagavan. I add few more explanations, and then Aryan. Now, according to Bhagavad Gita, the commentary on Bhagavad Gita, it says Aryan. There's a little bit different, Arya and Aryan. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. So I don't know exactly the clear meaning, but I think that's the meaning of Aryan. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life, people who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. So that's the meaning of Aryan in Hindu tradition. So, but in Tibetan, Arya is the persons or the people who have achieved this direct realization of emptiness. People who can see directly emptiness directly is called Arya, and that's how all the mundane people like us, we can't see directly. Not even we don't even have doubt about emptiness. So even if we have realization, we could have only indirect, or we can see emptiness with obscurations. Meaning, like I'll give you an example. If you think about the CN Tower right now, right? So we can see CN Tower in our mind, but that is mixed with what called mental generic. So it's like what we see is actually not CN Tower. It's mentally made. We can understand that, but it's almost like this. Some kind of obscuration. It's covered with obscurations. You can see the book, but you are not seeing clearly, right? Even more, maybe if you put 3 or 4 or 5, 6 sheets of the, this, what do you call?
Plastic?
Yeah, plastic, and then it will be less clear. So like that. So we have lots of this generic image we call Tunchi, which is what we see is not exactly CN Tower. It's a kind of image, right? Generic image of the CN Tower. But we can understand CN Tower. We can perceive CN Tower, but with the obscuration. So seeing directly is when you go close to CN Tower, and when you see from your eyes, that would be like seeing directly into emptiness directly without this generic image, Tunchi. So that's the difference. And now, I want to mention this, of course, although probably it's not very important, but maybe it's good to know. Shariputra. So why do you call Shariputra, right? Shariputra is one of the 2 main disciples of the Buddha, Shariputra, which is full of knowledge and wisdom, and Mongoliana has lots of miraculous powers. So those 2 disciples. Shariputra, Putra means son. In Hindi, even Hindi, Putra and son. So Sanskrit, son. Shari Shari goes to, Shari refers to his mother, Sharika. Her name is Sharika. So Shariputra is son of Sharika. That's why it's called Shariputra. Sharika. So why do you call Sharika? Why do you call her Sharika? Sharika is actually name of a beautiful bird, which has beautiful eyes. That bird has beautiful eyes. So the mother has beautiful eyes. That's why she was called Sharika. Her eyes resemble just like this bird, beautiful bird called Sharika, that has beautiful eyes. So that's why they called her. They named her Sharika. Since he is the son of the Sharika, so it's called Shariputra. Because this is an interesting story. When I first started to writing my dictionary, 4-volume dictionary. Now actually the second will be 8 volumes soon. So what I did was a long time ago, maybe probably 30 years ago, 35, maybe it could be 35 years ago, when we were very young. So when we go to sometimes we have to read Ganjur and Tenjur, all these sutras and commentaries by Indian masters. Like it takes 7 days or sometimes 3 days to complete the reading. So then we used to, because we were so passionate about learning Dharma, so I used to go with a small book, and a pen, and then go. And then I read. If I see something very interesting, I take note right away. So at that time, I found this Shariputra, the explanation of Shariputra in Vinaya Vastu. I took a note. Then when I started writing the dictionary, this term is one of the first terms that I have entered, made entry. One of the first entries of the book, Shariputra. So it's a very nice story about the Shariputra. So long time. Maybe I feel like it was like a previous life. Sometimes, see, when we have to actually finish the text. There is a time limit. So 2 people, 1 big volume will be placed in front of you, and the 2 people or 3 people, you have to finish that in 1 day. So sometimes if you take note that your friend is not too happy, but anyway, I used to do that. So sorry, but now it turned into a big 4-volume book. So I think it's worthwhile to irritate that my friend a little bit. It was worthwhile. So Shariputra, Sharika, son of the Sharika. That's why it's called Shariputra. And then I don't know how they translate it. Sometimes the translation you miss a lot of. Chetan Demba, Ayushman. I don't know. Do you have that in English translation? Shariputra, Chetan Demba. See, now I don't have Tibetan. I can't even say.
The English text we have sometimes speaks of Shariputra as Sharibhati Putra.
No, that's same name, but then it's like a Chetan, Ayushman in Sanskrit, Ayushman. I think they just left it out. Maybe, I don't know. I have to look. Can you see Shariputra in somewhere?
It's the following page.
Venerable.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, venerable. I think they translate it as a venerable. Yeah.
Shariputra is referred to in the last line of the first page.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shariputra. See, Shariputra, I think in English they translate it as a venerable, right? But in Hindi or Sanskrit it's Ayushman. But that's similar. It's kind of respected. It's like a very close, very affectionate kind of term. Ayushman, meaning Chetan Demba in Tibetan, meaning may you have a long life or something like that. Tsedandemba. Ayush means life, lifespan. Ayushman means one who possesses a long life or something. So it's kind of very affectionate. They call. Have you seen Mahabharata? They all the time they say is Ayushman, Ayushman. When they see some Ayushman, may have a long life. But it's a kind of a term that used for very affectionate word, Ayushman. Tibetan is called Tsedandemba. So in English, maybe they have translated as a venerable. But I think that's okay, yeah. And then, let me see, anything else? I think that's all about it. Yeah, I think it's for the time being. And also, okay, there's one more. Excuse me. Bodhisattva. Sometimes they leave those English terms in the text. I think that's quite good. In this one, they left like a Bhagavan. They just left Bhagavan. They say Bhagavan. That's good, I think, because people will think, oh, what is Bhagavan? If you say blessed one, then you think, okay, that's all. But if you leave like vague, like Bhagavan, then what is Bhagavan? Then they will try to actually find out the real meaning. If you say blessed one, then they'll say, okay, blessed one, that's it, right? So I think this one has Bhagavan and Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya. I think I like that one. Just leave it like that. So in my translation, it's not like that, but this one has it, so this is good. So Bodhisattva, right? Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. So Bodhisattva means, Bodhi means enlightenment. Sattva means you want kind of a wish to achieve, and engaging into achievement of the enlightenment very rigorously, with lots of exertions. That's called Bodhisattva. And Mahasattva, now you have Mahasattva, right? Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. I think that's good. So Mahasattva in Tibetan, Chanchu Semba means Bodhisattva. Semba Chumbo means Mahasattva, meaning great sattva. Meaning, in this case, you are not only putting lots of energy and engaging into achievement of the enlightenment, you are doing that for the sake of all sentient beings, which is why it's called Mahasattva, great sattva. That's why they add this great Mahasattva. Bodhisattva means, okay, you are involved in achievement of the enlightenment. That's Bodhisattva. Mahasattva is not only you are engaging into achieving the enlightenment, but you are doing that for the sake of other sentient beings. That's why it's called Mahasattva. Maha means great in Sanskrit. So Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. Now, okay. Now we will leave it there, and let me see if ends. I think it will come later. So now we will go to the actual text, the entering the wisdom, Tibetan called Sheravla Jugpa. Now, at that time, the Blessed One or the Bhagavan entered the Samadhi. See, Samadhi? Samadhi, Tingizin. Actually, maybe I should tell this because usually I mentioned this before, but I'll mention this this time. Samadhi is a concentration, right? Concentration, Samadhi, in Tibetan called Tingizin. So, like many now, even in the West, people use this symbol to, have you heard John Kabat-Zinn? Is right? John Kabat-Zinn, a very popular scientists who actually brought this mindfulness into the to the West. So very popular and very quite famous. So he also, I heard that in one of his talks, he used this symbol, like. Actually, traditionally, we would use like this. You hit left to right. And then right to left. 2, right? And then 3. Although in Tibetan tradition we don't use it for the meditation, but we use it for rituals. See, we strike 3 times. Remember? You can even listen to John Kabat-Zinn. He used 3 times. But I don't know whether he knows the exact meaning of that or not. I don't know. Because nobody actually it's not in the text, except one text. But very rarely people know this meaning. So these 3 striking, meaning it reminds you of a thing is in samadhi. See, there's 3 syllables in samadhi. Sa, ma, ri. See, 3 syllables, right? In Tibetan, 3 syllables. Ting, nye, zin. Ting, nye, zin. Even in actually English, concentrate, right? If you use noun, then concentration, that turns out to 4 syllables. But if you use verb, concentrate, then there are 3 syllables. So this means it reminds you to concentrate whatever you're doing, whatever ritual you are doing, whatever meditation you are doing. This should be a reminder to concentrate. That's why it strikes 3 times. Concentrate, right? Sa, ma, di. So then immediately you have to kind of understand, if your mind is distracted. Usually our mind is always distracted, right? You're doing some prayers, your mind is going all over, doing all sorts of crazy things. Then you strike that. Ting, ting. Oh, yes. Pay attention. So that's why the reason for that is to remind you to concentrate on your ritual or meditation. See, thing is in samadhi. So, at that time, the Blessed One or the Bhagavan entered the samadhi that is called profound illumination. So now, everybody is excited because now the Buddha and all the Bodhisattvas, even from different planet, they came to Walter Peak Mountain to receive this sacred teaching from Lord Buddha. So everybody is excited. Yeah, excited what Buddha is going to teach now, and what kind of profound. So they were so excited listening, and Buddha went into samadhi. He didn't teach. He went into deep samadhi. So he entered. Instead of teaching, the Blessed One, Bhagavan, referring to Buddha, entered the samadhi that is called samadhi. Concentration is called profound illumination. Illumination. So again, profound illumination refers to emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness. So Buddha actually was meditating on the wisdom of emptiness. And at that time, noble, so Arya, right? Noble Arya Avalokiteshvara. Yeah, maybe you should also maybe know this one. And we call Avalokit Jikten Wangchu, or sometimes we call Cheresik. Chenresik. It's very wonderful to know this meaning. Even Tibetans, they have so much faith in Chenresik, Avalokiteshvara, but they don't know exact meaning of that term, direct meaning of that term, Chenresik. Very powerful, very powerful. If you know the direct meaning of the term, it is so powerful. Chere means eyes. Chere means eye, or the eyes. Sik means look. Looking with eyes. Meaning, Buddha of compassion is 24 hours, right? 24 hours. Looking with a compassionate mind to the sentient being who are suffering all the time. So Chenresik, very compassionately, so affectionately, looking all the time, like as if they're like a mother of a sick child looks upon her child all the time, right? Similar, this Buddha of compassion is looking at the suffering sentient beings all the time with his compassionate eye. So Chenresik, that's the meaning of Chenresik. So if you know that, then when you see it, the picture of Avalokiteshvara, if you see the Dalai Lama, then you go, oh, wonderful. Then you can feel the energy, and you can feel the vibration of their compassion and the wisdom, all the time, looking, all the time. So not like when we see a very poor animal or sick animal or sick being, we have compassion. But then after a few seconds or a few moments later, gone, right? It's not like that. Chenresik, always looking. Right, so that's Chenresik. So the word has a tremendous power. Chenresik, yeah. Avalokiteshvara. Noble Avalokiteshvara. The Bodhisattva, right? Mahasattva. While practicing the profound Prajnaparamita. So in this way, he saw the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. Oh yeah, now here. 5 skandhas. Actually, skandha in Tibetan, Pungpo. It's good to know it's a Tibetan word also. See, I'm not an expert. I don't know much about Sanskrit, but I try to learn. I speak some Hindi, so that helps a lot. So skandha, or skandha is actually skandha, or Hindi they call kanda. The shoulder is also called skandha in Sanskrit, shoulder. It's in Tibetan pungpa. So skandha can also mean shoulders. So, but in this case, skandha means pungpo in Tibetan. Pungpo means pile up. If something, pile of grain or pile of maize or pile of something, that's called pungpo. It means that's pile, pungpo. So these 5 skandhas, which is a collection, also you can call collection, pungpo. Now 5 skandhas, suji pungpo, form, right? Skandha of form, and then skandha of aggregate. In English, they call aggregates. Aggregates, yeah. In Sanskrit, skandha. Tibetan, pungpo. Same aggregate. So aggregate of form aggregate, and feeling, soa, and dushe, intention, and duche, composition factor, and namshe, the consciousness. So there are 5 skandhas. 5 skandhas. So let me see. So in this way, he saw the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. So empty of nature, maybe is quite profound meaning. But today I left my note, I forgot, but next time I will make sure that I bring that note, because that's really important. It's directly from Chandakirti. So it's very good to know that. Nature, empty of nature. Nature, nature, That word is very important. Rangshi in Tibetan, Rangshi. So without understanding of that, I think we will lose a lot of meaning. So maybe next time I will bring that, try to remember that. So meaning that the 5 skandhas are actually empty of true existence. True existence. That's what. So Buddha, in reality, Buddha was meditating on the emptiness of 5 skandhas or 5 aggregates. So Buddha was, instead of teaching, he was meditating. Through the power of the Buddha, see, that's also, you should know, because I told this whole story last time in the first, during the first session. Through the power of Buddha, see, through the power of Buddha, it implies the Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, they don't have this realization or the knowledge to actually engage into such a profound, conversation, asking each other questions, right, and answering each other. They don't have that, but through the power of the Buddha, Buddha actually blessed them. When Buddha was concentrating, he was not just only meditating on emptiness, but also he was blessing the Shariputra and the Avalokiteshvara and giving them so much blessing and power to have this kind of wisdom, to ask profound question and also respond to that question. So that's why that is the meaning of through the power of Buddha. See, that means they themselves don't have that power to really answer such a profound question. Where did this come from? From Buddha. Yeah, through the power of the Buddha, venerable, or the Ayushman, venerable Shariputra said to noble Avalokiteshvara. Mahasattva, how should a son or daughter of a noble family? See, I want to mention this here. See, sometimes in old days, females, they don't get the opportunity of learning and practicing and, all those things. All the males are doing all those things. But in later, when we translate from Tibetan or Sanskrit to Tibetan and then Tibetan to English, we tend to put kind of a politically we tend to make it kind of politically sound good, like son or daughter or something like that. But in this case, it's actually there in the original text. It's not like being polite to the female. This is actually there. Riki Pomos in Tibetan. But usually we say male or female, but it's not true, right? Actually, it's not good to sort of exaggerate in order to please or make them feel. But that's the situation. Very bad. So if you say that, then people will understand. Oh, women didn't get chance to study. Look here, it doesn't say women. Actually, it's better to have that kind of a language. Because if you say male and female, then say, oh yeah, female already have that, opportunity. No, they didn't have. But Buddha's time, of course, Buddha exception. When you think about Buddha, Lord Buddha, oh wow. I didn't actually think about that one. Buddha was actually quite revolutionary. He gave the same, almost same, not 100% same because of the pressure. At that time, women cannot do anything, right? Even think about the Canadian ourselves. Not even 100 years ago, women were not able to vote. Why? They are not considered as a human being, according to Canadian history. Now think about 2,500 years ago, Buddha gave this opportunity. Actually, when Buddha was requested by his cousin Ananda, he had to wait several times. He didn't sort of right away give permission because there was tremendous. He was waiting for the right moment because his mother, stepmother, his actual aunt, who actually brought him up, because his Buddha's own mother died when he was only 7 days old, right? After 7 days, his real mother passed away. Then he was brought up by his aunt. So that aunt actually wanted to become nun, but she cannot actually talk directly to Buddha. So then she kind of request her, not her sort of what called nephew or something, Ananda, because Ananda was so affectionate to this could call aunt, but this Buddha's mother, stepmother. So then he really skillfully asked Buddha, requested Buddha to give permission to become his mother, aunt, to become nun, full nun. But Buddha didn't actually say yes. 3 times, and 3rd time said yes. Said then, after that, women and men, many women, right, including Buddha's mother, stepmother, aunt, became enlightened, not enlightened, arhat, who abandoned all the afflicted emotions. So highly realized, many women, Utpali, Varma, and so on, those great nuns. So think about it. He gave women same opportunity as, almost same, not 100%, but it's quite good, don't you think? Really? Think about it. You can't vote. Because you are not concerned. 2,500 years ago, Buddha gave same, and probably he was really, he could have actually killed, really, in reality. But because he was such a sage and also powerful prince, right? And there is a protection. I think that also made a huge difference, I think. In order to taking such a big step, I don't think ordinary people can do that. Even if you're a sage, I think that you will have to have huge guts to do that, because no way, women have no right at all. 2,500. So anyway, so at that time, even from that time, this one is real. When you say son or daughter, it is in the text. Riki Pomo in Tibetan. How should a son or daughter of noble family train who wishes to practice the profound prajna paramita? Address in this way, noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, said to Venerable Shariputra, meaning Ayushman Shariputra, O Shariputra, a son or daughter of noble family who wishes to practice the profound prajna paramita should see in this way, seeing the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. So this is how you should practice, seeing those 5 skandhas empty of true nature. So anyway, so I will move to the next one, because more explanation will come later. So this actually completes the entering the wisdom. So now entering the wisdom, meaning Buddha was concentrating on the samadhi of the emptiness. That is what entering the wisdom means. Now, the definition of emptiness, this is very important now, important part, very important part now. So, although Tsinyi in Tibetan means definition, and also sometimes it can mean also characteristics. So here, in this third outline, it will talk about the characteristics of the emptiness. There are so many characteristics of the emptiness, but in this case, there are 4 main characteristics of emptiness. So we will see that here. Let me look at that. Okay. So form is emptiness. That is one characteristic. Excuse me. And then emptiness. Okay, form is emptiness. It's quite interesting to know the Tibetan. See, I am so passionate about the word meaning because I have quite a bit of reputation even at the monastery because I really want to know the real exact meaning. Monks don't, even the High Lamas and the great scholars, they don't pay much attention. But I want to know that exact meaning, you know. When you know the literal meaning of that term, then you will never forget about that meaning. It's so powerful. It will stick in your head. Otherwise, you will have some kind of meaning. Then after a few days later, it'll go on. It will be gone, disappear. But when you know the exact meaning, it will live with you forever. Not forever, but as long as you live. So the form, okay, there are 4 characteristics of emptiness. First one, form is emptiness. Suk Tongba Tongba ni Sukso, emptiness is also form. That's second. Very important, very, very important. And third one, emptiness is not other than form. That's the third characteristics. And fourth characteristic is form is no other than emptiness. That's 4 characteristics. So this is talking about 4 characteristics. Also, I want to mention this. I may forget. So when you say gate, para sangate svaha. So that little mantra talks whole 5 paths of bodhisattva paths. Path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of meditation, and path of no more learning. So no more learning, according to bodhisattva path, so that refers to Buddhahood. So when you become Buddha, then you don't have to learn anything. You have learned everything. So there's nothing to be learned, you know. So that's called path of no more learning. So five paths. Actually, there are 15 paths. There are 3 lower Hinayana path, or how to say, a lesser path, or I don't know, but we call it Hinayana, but it's not nice. Usually I don't use it, but in this case I have to use it. Usually we call Theravadan, or we call it Theravadan, but in this case I have to use it because I can't find it any other. So Hinayana means lesser. So Hinayana path has 2, like Sharvaka, and then it's called Pratyeka Buddha, and then Bodhisattva. So there are 3. Sharvaka is like the disciples of the Buddha. Sharvaka, Nyentu, means in Tibetan Nyentu.